We're back online. I took a phone call. My computer crashed. Had to do some stuff. So I guess I will show you what happens when your computer crashes when you're in the middle of working on a project. So first of all, let's open up my mock-up again. Downsized. Okay. Okay, so as you can see, jackalope.dev's not pulling up. So first things first, let's go into our project and let's check Vagrant status to see what Vagrant did. I'm not sure whether it reboots. Looks like it's powered off, so we'll do Vagrant up. Asking for the password. Mounting NFS share filters. Okay. Vagrant is up. So let's go CD site web app themes Sage gulp watch. And there we go. Let's do jackalope.dev. And there we are. Okay, so we were working on the fonts. The font isn't reading for some reason. So we come in here, we can see the font families, Proxima Nova, but it's not working. Let's make sure we have everything named correctly. Let's go into common jackalope. Here's one thing we can test. If we uncomment this, will it change our brand color? Let's make sure that gulp's working. It appears to be. And it appears to work. But for some reason, the font's not pulling in. Perhaps the file path is wrong. It's yeah, it needs to back out 1, 2. I think only 2. So let's try this. first one. See if that does anything. Piled. Still not finding the font. If we undo that, and we add another. Okay, so it's starting from this one. It backs out to common. Okay, so it backs out backs out once. It's in common. Now it's in styles. Now it's in assets. It should be in assets. Fonts, Proxima Nova, dash bold, EOT. Okay, I have a repo when I was learning this that I know I did a lot of research on. Let's try and find that. T-blog, assets, and the fonts there, and we'll come into less, and global. Yep, right here, so this one's only backing out once, but it goes from less global, so it goes backs out once. So this is under one. Okay, so less is equal to styles. That's one deeper, right? And so there should be two. I think just two? Maybe. Fuck this shit. Fuck it. I don't really wanna live this way. Since we're just working in Chrome, I'm going to try and remove everything except for the TTFs. My fonts aren't going to dist, so that's my problem. This should be going to dist fonts. Okay, we found the problem to the font problem. Here's the deal. Here's how this works. So when you compile your styles under your assets, it actually changes the directory and it recompiles them under dist. I think distribution is what that stands for, and it puts it under main.css right here. So the problem is it's looking for fonts in, it should be grabbing fonts from here. So the what we're gonna have to do, we're only backing out, so these dots, every time there's a dot and a slash, it's backing out one directory. So what it's doing here is it's starting in fonts, backs out once to assets, and then it backs out again to Sage. And then it goes into fonts. So, oh sorry, we're under Jackalope. So it's backing out once to styles, and then another time to assets. And we're gonna have to change that directory, and it can only go under a directory that it can only hit the directory that it's under, so we have to add one more. Okay, and now it's starting out in, so one line takes it out to, let's see, we're starting under common, so one dot, two dots, one set of dots takes it out to styles. The next one takes it out to assets, and the next one takes it out to Sage. So instead of fonts, we're gonna do dist let's do this. Let's try putting dist right here. That should solve the problem, because it's drawing it from the dist folder main.css. Let's find Proxima. So starting from this folder, the main, one set of dots takes it to dist. Yeah, that's all we need is one set of dots actually. So let's try that again. I think it should work with just one set. So let's delete the first pair and the second pair. Save it. Make sure it compiles correctly. And if we're in luck, it just might work. Or not. Let's try adding those again. I easily get confused on how many dots it needs, as you can probably tell. Okay, it's still not working. So, what's the problem here? Let's reload the source. Let's find our style sheet. And so, dist fonts Proxima Nova. Dist fonts, and I don't have Proxima Nova in there, so that would make sense that it's not doing anything. Let's go. Open it once more so I can have two. Come on. Okay, so let's go to assets, fonts, bring those up, and then we'll run this again. There we go. That pulls up a new one. We can go to dist, fonts, bam, drop them in there. Let's reload it. do have too many of those. Let's try that. Make sure it compiles. Alright, now I'm truly stumped. Perhaps the font's there, and I'm doing something else wrong. Oh, I hate fonts. They're so important. Never recall it so much, so easy. Oh, okay. That was the solution to the fonts. Wow, I feel like an idiot. I put a space there and it started working. So, here's what we do. We put a space here. We save it. Make sure it compiles. Actually, I'm going to go back because I want to keep that comment for later use. Now let's refresh it, and there we go. We're in business. Alright, that should be a wrap on this real quick so I can replace the battery. Or I could just plug it in perhaps. so we got the fonts working. That's great news. Let's just check the spacing on that. Oops. Let's see it. Looks like it's about 60. I'll just give it 60. So coming into here, we're gonna get back into the HTML now. So that's gonna be under base. No, that's gonna be under templates hero. Where's my templates? Hero. So what's the class we should assign to this? Just gonna be default. No class. So next is going to be SVG class plus sign circle. Okay, so we need to turn this plus sign into an SVG. We could make that pretty easily in CSS, but I want it to be exact and easy, so we'll just do this. There it is. I knew that was going to happen for some reason. Whoa. Alright, that should be good. I'll just find a size for it. Let's go for 40. Okay, 40 pixels. And we're just gonna save as an SVG. Once again, we put it under assets, under there we go, under SVG. And this one's called plus sign, right? Yeah. And now we have that nifty command built in. Where we can come in here. folder, and copy this file. We're going to run svgo off of that new plugin we installed. Enter. Done. Turn it from 900 kilobytes to half it, like less than half it, 0.4 kilobytes. It's amazing. And it works so much better that way too. Okay, so one more thing. Let's come under SVG. Let's duplicate it. Same old, same old. We're going to add .php and inline dash use PHP. So now let's take this little snippet up here. And we're going to put it right in here. And let's see if it has a class assigned to it. The class is dark gray, so it doesn't really need a class. It's already colored. No use wasting space. And it's going to be 40 by 40. And it's going to be called plus sign. Save it, come check it out, refresh. Alright, there's nothing there. And for some reason, it's like white or it's hidden. Let's cut this and put it inside of a div called text center. I'll paste it right there. Probably still not going to work, but come here. Text center, SVG. Yeah, it should totally be visible. Doesn't make any sense. Is SVG not working maybe? Okay, so why does that work? But plus sign spelled right. Plus sign. Select. Fuck. That's the problem. Let's take that. Let's make it a new. I shouldn't have to set the size, but whatever. old one. I'll come back in here, rerun that. Okay, ooh, it's way smaller now. Duplicate it. You know what to do. Use PHP. Everything's saved. It should work now. There we go. And 40. Forgot to size it. Okay, and as for the size above it, it's about 148. So that might be useful for a class then. We'll call it plus sign. Or no, we'll leave out the class. We'll change this to guarantee. And then under home, main, common, layout, home, under here, we still in the hero? I believe so. Do this. Maybe 148. Guarantee. So you're telling me that doesn't affect it by applying it to the div? It appears that it worked, but there's no way. This is under hero, guarantee. It's so easy. There we go. Plus sign, now we got H2, H4, and a P. We got an H2, an H4, and a P. Alright, so these can actually go in here. This will say increased revenue. Lowercase with a comma. If we fail to force multiply, you will simply refund you. looking pretty close. That's awesome. I love it when you don't need a ton of adjustment. The only thing that's not looking on is the H4. That's because we have it disabled at the moment. And there we go. So looks like the P needs to have a little more space. Height 34. It's so easy. Yeah, if we just put the P in here. We'll say, let's just add 20. And I think this is already adding to some padding, so let's take off like 20 of each pretty much. That one's fine, there was no padding in that. Maybe not even in that one. Let's do 136. And then we want that to be pretty thin. We want it to break in half. Let's just put a break in there, I guess. I don't know. Seems easiest and cleanest, to be honest. Okay. That looks a little too squished together. I guess it's actually pretty accurate. Did I put one on the P's? Alright, let's take that to 24. 203, 202. I don't get how it's pulling that when it's clearly commented out. Huh. There we go. Okay, we've worked with okay, so we've worked with is probably just a P with a class, just a light gray. P. We've worked with. I like to keep these collapsed. I don't know why. Okay. And then under home, we'll do hero. This was under guarantee. And this should be clients. P. Color. Light gray. This should have worked. That needs a big kick as well. 112, full out 100. Just doing this really rough, really. Perfect. Alright, now the fun part. We're going to turn all of this into an SVG. One SVG. Here's one way you can do it. Here's one way you could do it. Open the screenshot in Illustrator and just cycle through them. I probably should have done this before. It's one thing I'll do next time, but I wasn't quite sure how I was going to do it. Okay, that one's good. Let's get the bird. one's good. Real. And then we're missing 2 of them. I don't know why we're missing these 2. It's definitely not an SVG. It's definitely not an SVG. Alright, well for now, since it's so easy to switch when it's an SVG, we'll just put placeholders there. So I'll take those there. We'll do another one. Delete that. Change the artboard size to fit. And then we're gonna go save as. You know where we're putting it. Themes, assets, SVG, and we'll name it clients.svg. Don't forget to select SVG. Save. Okay. Now we can just easily add that stuff in later. And for now, we'll come in, take our clients, come into this part, copy that, we'll run clients. If you need to copy something, it's just up on the arrow key. Clients, 23%, not bad. Okay, let's duplicate clients, change the name, PHP inline, use PHP, come back into our hero, copy this, and for now we'll put it right here. No, yeah. And how big is it is the question. Okay, let's make it a distinct size. So it's, we'll do 1062, 86 point, and 86. Let's do 1062, 88. Alright. Just gonna double check, make sure that worked. And it did. So let's just resave it. And then let's delete this one. And let's duplicate it. You know the drill by now. Actually, don't duplicate it yet. Come back in here, rerun that. There we go. And now duplicate it and rename it. Use PHP. And this is called clients. And it's 1062 by 80? I forgot. 88. Alrighty. Let's check this out. Bam! Alright, we forgot to color them. So we have to go through that again. Just select them all. And bam, 3D, 3D, 3D. And it actually worked. Except for the O's. There we go. Let's select everything. Was that the color we actually wanted? Nope. This is much lighter. Six four. One more time. Okay. Voila. Now, I could probably use some more space right there. Need the pixel counter extension again. Let's see if I still have that. So what you do is, let's measure this. 18 pixels. And in here, it is 58 pixels, so we need to add 40 pixels. So come in here. Let's put class on this bitch. Clients. And under home. Actually, this would be global. Whatever. Already in here. Under home. Under clients. Oh, we could probably just do SVG actually. Should add 40 pixels to that. Let's see what happens. There we go. So we can come back in here. And just to keep things clean, we don't actually need that class because we just use SVG instead. Okay. So what's next? Next we have section 1. So let's find section 1. That's where I've got the loop. We're not going to have a loop in here right now, so we'll just do a container, and then we'll put, what are we going to put in the container? Refer back to our PSD. Looks like there's going to be an ID of section 1. And an H2. Which is going to say, will your website profit more than $7,500 this year? And then let's cut out 7,500. Put a span there, paste it inside the span, and then we can come into here, into here, and do section 1, span, see if that works. It sure worked. Okay, but that appears to be way bigger than it should be. Am I correct? Maybe I missed a style. Hello. Section 1. We did miss some styles. H2 is going to have those. Whoa. color will be brand primary for now. And that will not be a contained object. Alright, let's get done with that section, then I'm going to take a break. Alright, so it's going to be damn it. Let's make this easier. Instead of span, it's going to be strong, and then instead of having bold in there, just take this whole thing out. It's all about saving space, and it's just as good. Alright. Yeah, I'm gonna come back to this. I need a break. See you later, my honeys.